So what's going on, guys? Kappa FPV here, and today I am revisiting the DJI Digital Goggles. And the reason why I'm having to do this, I guess, is because I kind of didn't give it a fair shot. Now I've been flying and using it now for the past month or so, and everything's been great. The original reason why I was having problems on that video was because the goggles were unlocked, but the air unit itself was stuck to 25 milliwatts. DJI confirmed that there was an issue with the update, so I had to re-update them. Was able to re-update it and was able to unlock it to 700 milliwatts. The real deal here is this air unit, even though it says 25 milliwatts, is actually kind of like 20 milliwatts if you use an RF meter. So I was kind of having a bad issue, with it in my yard. And at 25 milliwatts, even my analog system isn't that great. So that's kind of, they're on par with an analog system as far as how far you're going to get in penetration. And so, I mean, for what it was doing, 25 milliwatts, actually the last video was pretty damn good. Now that I've gotten it to 700 milliwatts and unlocked, this is amazing. So what I ended up doing is taking it off my freestyle quad and I put them in my race quads. Another great thing about using this in a race quad is it still does get picked up on the race timer. Sometimes it's a little bit of an issue because the race timer is looking for 25 milliwatts and this is putting out, like we said, 20. But it does still work and does still pick up. Now, on a race setting, since we are not being able to display our video, it is a little rough because live time, you can display your video, and if DJI had let it, we'd be able to display it and show people HD streams and everything with them. But unfortunately, it's not the case right now. Also, if you're having issues, you could update the antennas on the quad or update the antennas on the goggles themselves. I've seen a lot of videos and I've seen a lot of people talking about updating the goggle ones and getting like ridiculous range with it. So if you're looking for a long range and great penetration and you're having issues like I was on 25 milliwatts and you still on 700 milliwatt have an issue or something, which I highly doubt, you can always update the antennas and make it a little bit better. Some other issues that people are having with live time and timing these on the race setting is the frequencies aren't exactly identical to, I guess, DJI, and the analog system isn't perfectly spot on some of the channels. So I believe race time or lifetime has actually updated their information, so now it works a lot better with the system. A couple of other good things is, if you notice, this is a Floss 3 race frame, and what I did to get the system in here is I put 50 millimeter standoffs. I'm using a micro size standard camera mount that we would normally use for the analog system, and the DJI camera mounts right up in there. And if you notice, as I raised it up, I was able to fit it in there fairly easy. Cable runs right around, mounts right into my fixed 40 degrees, and everything's, great. I'm also just going to probably continue to run this GoPro 7 mount that I already had because the antenna, it worked actually really good. I'll probably maybe build something eventually, but for now, this is working really good, and this acts as a good turtle fin for flipping over. So basically, if you're wanting to build this will fit on any current frame that a regular stack fits in. I mean, if you look at it, there's not much of a difference from your standard 30 by 30 stack. So if you got a little bit of room for like a 4-in-1 ESC like this, then you're going to be fine with it width-wise. It's just as narrow as the standard stack, so everything's, going to fit just the same. So you don't need necessarily a special frame for this system. A couple of cons with the system still is there's no HDMI out. That would be pretty amazing to have the ability to display what everybody's, display to everybody what you're seeing in the goggles. Another con with it is the limited OSD display. Right now, all you can see is what the current voltage of the quad is. There's no warnings or anything. The PID selection, that works fine. None of that needs to change. The other thing that needs to work, though, is some RSSI so we can see the signal, to see how strong our signal is when we're flying. That's another thing we don't see. One more thing I'd like to see them change is maybe more power options. 25 milliwatt and 700 milliwatt as power options is kind of weird. I guess you can fly really close or really far away. They don't really have an in-between setting. Like at my house, I'd like to maybe put it at 100, 200 milliwatts maybe. It would be nice to have maybe just 200 milliwatt or 400 milliwatt option to just have a little bit lower power. If you know people that have this system, you can easily run 8 of them together. It's been confirmed that it works. It also works with analog systems. Sometimes there's a little bit of video issues, but it's nothing more than if 2 analog systems were interfering with each other. So don't think that it's going to be something that's going to blow the other quad out of the sky, because it's actually not. If you're a DJI guy and you're looking at these videos and wanting to get into it, don't feel intimidated, because building this quad isn't that hard. There's a million videos online that you can easily follow to build, this identical setup, I'm sure. And, wiring it in isn't a big deal either. Basically, the only thing you need is the correct solder and a soldering iron and a little bit of time, and you could totally build this. So do not feel intimidated that this is something that DJI put out that you're not allowed or you're not going to be able to ever use, because you definitely can use it. Obviously, it doesn't fly like a Phantom or a Mavic or something like that. This you have to control and balance yourself. It's basically like balancing a top if you're kind of controlling the top with a stick and, the controller, and you basically just got to balance it out. So if you're new to it, check out some more videos, but don't feel intimidated. This could definitely be done. Anybody can do this. So would I recommend this to someone who freestyles or someone who races? Yeah, I would recommend it for both. This is like a game changer. If you're following any of it, you're going to know that Fat Shark is coming out with their own system, and they've actually made an announcement that it's going to be delayed because the DJI system is so good and they really can't compete with it yet. So with that being said, yeah, I definitely recommend this, especially if you have no equipment or if you have all the equipment in the world. This is something you're going to want to experience for yourself. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. And I'll be doing a couple more review videos here soon. I have a toothpick and a Emax Freestyle that I just received that I want to do a review video on. So keep an eye out for those. And also, I picked up a Yokomo rear-wheel drive drift car, which is pretty cool too. So if you're into that, definitely gonna want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Everybody,